stormwater.
I will touch base on this. I was coming home from work, it was a couple weeks ago, and the amount of water that was pooling at the bottom of Hidden Hollow Road and rushing across Route 88 was unbelievable. So I went down the road and turned around, and I took pictures and I sent them to our solicitor, I sent them to our zoning and code enforcement officer, and
You must have got a lot of pictures, Harold. I know a lot of people sent you pictures about that same thing.
and maybe you can, I don't know, did you send them to TJ?
TJ's seen them.
I've seen most
mean-
of them. I think I've seen most of them.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yes.
There is a huge problem there. And someone's gonna have an accident with the amount of water that is coming across the road there. And that old fruit stand that was there, it was completely flooded. It was just unbelievable, and I cannot believe, who engineered that? I mean, it is a mess.
TJ and I have been talking probably for about a month. That entire corridor coming down Route 88
Is a mess.
Yeah,
And we have two major developments that wanna come in and add to the water issue that we're going to have on that. So we've already been discussing that we're going to have to do, and I think Steve told us that there was an old MS4, there was an old study done on the water.
Larry, wasn't that Joe? Larry,
Mr. Ferrero, 84, I think.
I think Joe Ferrero did that, Larry, wasn't it? He did a study all the way up there, and they said about widening that channel up to here and how that would be, because I'm telling you, a lot of places, that thing's only 2 feet wide now.
Yeah, so what we're gonna have to do is, we're probably gonna have to update that study, and we're gonna probably have to start taking some actions that are going down there, and TJ and I had talked about a couple things we could do a little bit to try and mitigate it. One, Dennis, we would have to talk to you on is, the update of the big box ordinances we have. We're gonna wanna go with, that,
Did they change the right ordinance?
I think they did some of them, so we're gonna have to look.
I couldn't find it to even read it. Couldn't find it.
That was a good ordinance.
Yeah, but one of the things I'd like to see added.
I couldn't
there
find
is
it.
some, permeable asphalt or something like that to try and reduce the amount of water we would have going down into that corridor.
Let me ask you somebody a question. Did they do an MS4 here? Are they doing MS4 here?
Hasn't been updated.
We have to address some things for this
Well-
year.
Okay, go ahead, I wanna know this one.
So to answer your question, Union Township is an MS4 community.
That's right, that's what I thought it was.
So what that means is they have a NPDES permit with the state that addresses stormwater conveyance measures within the township. So it's basically a permit for all of the township storm sewers, is essentially what the MS4 permit is. That's one of the items that's on my desk right now that I haven't unpacked fully yet, where the township stands in terms of compliance with the MS4 permit. That's on our list. I think what you're referring to, Chuck, might be like more of a watershed study that would be something different than.
But we are an MS4, we are an MS4 community,
They would go
correct?
hand in hand.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
We
yes.
are an MS4 community. We don't know where they're at with the MS4 yet at all. 'Cause I know other places are doing MS4 right now.
They had some things that they were expecting to by the end of this year, but
Yeah, so for your MS4 permit, you have to submit an annual report every year to DEP that summarizes the activity that you've taken on, to satisfy the permit requirements throughout that year.
I'm sure.
So Michelle and I have been talking about this back and forth for the last few months here, and one of the things that I need to do is figure out where Union Township stands with respect to their permit compliance. Was there an annual report that was submitted last year? What activities does the township need to do this year to be able to submit their annual report in September and maintain it?
So we need to move on that, because otherwise we could be in a predicament.
That's
It
correct.
is not
yes.
an option.
It is not an option.
Keep in mind now,
And it's expensive.
and I'm gonna tell you something.
In a lot of
folks. These
aspects,
things-
it's expensive.
what it's gonna cost. It's not gonna cost you 10,000, it's not gonna cost you 30,000. You're looking at 6 figures, am I correct?
It it depends on,
So when I'm saying that because I'm done this elsewhere, so you guys, this is gonna be another expense you're going to have. And you're gonna have to be cognizant of that expense in the upcoming year, or a couple of years, so you better be prepared, because I know East Washington Borough has spent, I think they told me the other day, over $100,000. They spent $80,000 for the first 4 months of this year, they spent $60,000 for last year. Now, you guys keep in mind that's gonna be a major expense, because you're a much bigger community. I'm telling you, this is my experience, so keep that in mind. We have to follow through with this, because we could have a predicament, it's a costly.
Have we not addressed that at all at this point, other than researching what,
I gotta look at the invoices.
what was done last year.
no, I'm talking about this year. But, yeah, I mean,
So Union Township also has high-quality streams, which puts them in a different category for permitting, which means you have to maintain your MS4 permit every 5 years, but you also have to implement a pollution reduction plan, which has certain projects identified that need to be implemented within that 5-year window to be able to meet the requirements of that plan and, eliminate sediment and nutrients from reaching the watershed. So, in addition to the annual report that would be due every year, like Dennis is mentioning, there's probably stormwater projects that need to be implemented within. We did a little bit of background research. It seems like the PRP, the pollution reduction plan, got approved in 2021, which means the 5-year window is in progress right now. We have a couple more years, but
It's ticking away.
we need to implement the projects that were identified as part of that.
and
And I need to check on the dates of all that, so don't hold me to 2021.
yeah.
It's
what
on
I
my
had-
desk
what
to
I had
figure out
saw
where
that
we're
there
at.
was a requirement by, the fourth quarter of this year, that they were looking at dealing with those,
Yeah, September of each year is when the annual.
Yep,
is due.
and
Yeah.
they said that's
Sediment.
gonna be upwards of 50 to 80.
And I bring it up because you mentioned stormwater, but you're going to, that might be have to be addressed as part of MS4. But I think, TJ, what the township has to do is have to look at the problems with that, Hidden Hollow Road, and because we have developers want to come there, I think it's gonna take a lot of work, but you have to have some type of comprehensive planning about stormwater in that area in and of itself.
Yes.
Because otherwise, we're gonna get caught holding the bag. Before the old board had wanted us to take over Scarmazy's stormwater, it went into who was that, Voorhees or?
Van Voorhees.
Van Voorhees property. And, they made a mistake, then they came back, wanted me to agree to, they just take over that facility. I said, no, I don't see a need for that. So, but we gotta, what people don't understand here, there's so much we have to do. I mean, I've got 7 banker boxes already full of files that I have organized. And I got another couple of things. There's so much we have to do here that's so screwed up. That it's difficult just to figure out, just like I've done with the guys over there from the airport about their 180
They're next on the
citations.
agenda.
Oh my gosh.
Just, so there's a lot to do, but this is something really we gotta put on the front burner.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it ain't cheap. It's just not, there's nothing about it cheap, and it is absolute requirement for us to do this.
Yeah, my plan is to have an update in the engineer's report for the next meeting as to where we stand right now and
Yeah.
what needs to be done the remainder of this year and the next few years.
That lady over there can give you the videos and all the different, talk about these solutions. All right, what's next on the
Okay, the
agenda?
next is the, discussion regarding the stormwater issues with the legal